Hi, this is Sarah from Permanent Record Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/permrecordpodcast.
Thanks, Sarah. This is Brian from the Permanent Record Podcast, and you can find us on the internet at www.permanentrecordpodcast.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter account is at PermRecordPod.
That's all great info. Thanks, Sarah. Here's the Rocket Dudes.
The Blue Zone Podcast Network presents Permanent Record, an in-depth look at the classic albums of the 70s and 80s. Albums that have earned a permanent place of honor both in our hearts and in our record collection.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey, that actually sounds pretty good with the backdrop of the Rocket Dudes there.
I can make anything sound good.
Well, that's true.
Hey, it's Brian and
Sarah.
This is the Permanent Record Podcast, and we are back. We took a little break for Cider Fest like last weekend, we have to admit.
Yes, we did. Yes.
A lot of times when we miss shows, it's because of holidays, and we feel like we're justified with that. But yeah, we actually spent the day drinking cider outside, listening to music.
Yeah, it was a great day.
It was.
Yeah.
So sorry we missed last weekend, but I'm sure you guys were doing something fun too, and you didn't really mind.
Oh, yeah. I hope so anyway.
But last time we spoke, we were in the midst of talking about Howard Jones's sophomore album.
Correct.
Assuming you ignore that 12-inch
album.
that.
Yeah, this was the second studio release I think we discussed. It was the second one put together in the studio.
Right, Dream into Action. It's funny because the week after we finished the show, the first episode, Entertainment Weekly came out, and in their music section, I think once a month they have like a flashback. 30 years or whatever. I can't do the math this quickly.
Yeah.
Top 10 songs in America at this week. And the week that we had done the Howard Jones show, Howard Jones appeared on that list. I think he was number 8 with Things Can Only Get Better.
Oh, really?
Yep. And unfortunately, they give it a letter grade and a little blurb where they say something. And unfortunately, the blurb was completely insipid. It was something just about the fact that like Howard Jones had the same first name as Howard the Duck. Who like bombed in a movie or something that summer.
I remember seeing that.
But they gave the song a B+.
Oh, okay. I think we would both rate it higher than B+.
Yeah, well, we definitely would.
Yeah.
I would think, but
well, that's them. Whatever.
B+ is pretty solid from 20-year-old who's writing that column.
Yeah, that's probably true.
2017 and really doesn't remember the song.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I thought that was cool that.
Yeah, very timely.
I saw him in the magazine. So we finished side 1. It took us a little while. It took us 2 episodes, and now we are up to side 2 of this record.
All right, let's flip it over. See what we got.
Flip it over. So we're doing, like we said last time, Sarah, we're doing, what is it, the American?
The U.S. cassette version, which is different from even the CD version.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is what we knew. This is what we grew up with. So this is the one we're doing.
Yep. So this is side 2 of it. It was cassette and album, right? Is that true?
Yes, I think it was the vinyl as well.
Okay, so we can still allude to the fact that we're flipping vinyl and dropping a needle and things like that. Okay, good. Thank goodness.
Oh, I know.
All right, so let me drop the needle here on side 2, song 1, and this is a song called "Look, Mama."
All right, lots of fun. Well, this was the second single, but only in the United Kingdom because it was not released in America.
Yeah, it's kind of a rip-off because I do like the song a lot.
Yeah, it's a great song. I'm not sure why they decided to not release it in America, but at any rate, they did not. When it was released in the UK, it was released on April 20th, 1985. Got up to number 10 on the British charts. So that was pretty decent.
Yep, and although we didn't get it as a single here, the next year we did get it in a new remix version on the EP Action Replay that we mentioned before with No One Is to Blame.
Okay, yeah.
We did get a version of the song that was not released in the UK. It was like in America only.
Hooray for us.
Too little, too late,
in
my opinion.
Yeah. So elsewhere in the world, it went to number 17 in Sweden and number 6 in Italy. And big surprise, it went to number 3 in Ireland. I think we talked a lot on the first side about how many of the songs went to number 3 in Ireland. They seem to love to put Hojo in their top 3.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. It's pretty impressive.
Now, I think in the first episode, when we were talking about this record, I said something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I alluded to the fact that there are a lot of really excellent songs on here, although there are a few that shouldn't work, but Howard Jones makes them work.
Okay.
And this is the one I was alluding to it.
Oh, all right.
With that comment. Simply because lyrically, this song is like... Howard Jones was 30 years old when this album came out.
Was he really?
Yeah,
30,
he was born in 55.
Okay.
So he was at least turned 30 this year, the year that this came out.
Yeah, so he's like 29 when he wrote the song.
Yep. So if you're gonna write this song, you probably should have had this discussion probably like by age 15, maybe.
Yeah,
15 or 16.
Yeah.
These are not the lyrics that a 29-year-old man should be singing. But I don't even hold it against him because it's such a good song.
Well, yeah.
I just overlook it.
It is kind of funny. I mean, we came to this album as teenagers. So as a teenager, to me, the lyrics in this song really grabbed me, even though I didn't necessarily have any big conflicts with my mother or my parents. But
yeah, same here.
I appreciated the sentiment that he was expressing. Yeah, even though he was like a completely grown man and married and everything.
Right.
It's sort of funny if you think about it.
Yep. He's basically pleading with his overprotective mom to let him live his own life and be who he wants to be. And I didn't have any major issues with my parents either. Just stupid angsty stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's just, well, anyway.
Yeah, you can still listen to this as a kid and you identify with it even if you don't have any problems.
That's right. You're like, yeah, he gets me.
Yep.
But yeah, I love the line in the very first verse where he says, "You can't treat me like a fool. Anyway, if I was, you've got to let me be one."
Yeah, that's a cool
I
line.
think it's a funny thought, but it's actually true. I mean, you have to let people fail and do dumb things so they can learn from their mistakes.
Yep, learn from experience.
Yeah.
That first verse, I also really like the line, although I didn't understand it at the time, whereas "Don't wrap me up in cotton wool."
Oh, right.
I just kind of assumed that cotton wool must have been like some embarrassing kind of clothing that like British kids had to wear. I was like, why would he be embarrassed about that?
Yeah.
So actually, I never, that's what I thought at the time, and I never really corrected my thoughts on it until as I was researching the show.
Okay.
I said, I guess I'll Google what cotton wool is. It's basically just what I call a cotton ball.
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
But then at first, I was like, wait, what?
It's
then
like
I get it's just like protect you, like
right.
Don't wrap me up in this soft cotton to protect me from everything.
Yeah, it's funny. I know this term actually because when I was a teenager, I came across somehow, I got an old paperback book and it was called Girl in Cotton Wool. It was a little teenage novel, and it was, of course, it took place in Britain.
Oh, okay.
And it was about this teenage girl who had overprotective parents. Oh. And then some really cool people moved next door and she got involved with them, and she was trying to sneak around and stuff like that and, trick her parents. But yeah, at the time when I read that book and saw the title, I didn't know what that meant. I got the gist of it from reading the book, that she was wrapped up and protected. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. It's not a term we're used to in America.
Yeah. Maybe it is like a more common expression over there.
Well, it must be if they decided to title a book with it.
Yeah. Right. I guess maybe someone could tell us, maybe our friend Alan Hogue.
Oh, yeah.
If he's listening. Let us know if that's a common expression, Alan.
Yeah, please help us out.
Let's go back to the very beginning since we're talking about the first verse.
Sure.
The very first sound you hear in this song.
Right.
That keyboard.
Yes.
That keyboard is so whiny.
It is.
Like you hear that sound. Yeah, and you're like, ugh. That's like, this is going to be about a whiny kid.
Yeah, it's very squeaky, kind of. Yeah, but I like your term whiny better.
It fits with the song.
Well, and then after we get that keyboard, we get some sampling.
Right.
And it's a whiny kid's voice. Well, it's not the very first thing we hear. First we hear is a mother's voice. Mm-hmm. Honey, I think Audrey's a little mature for you. No, I don't think she's mature. How'd I do?
Pretty good.
Yeah. I think she's nice. Hey, Mom, when are we going?
Yep.
And I didn't know what that was from, of course, until I did the research. Mm-hmm. And it's taken from the 1974 film, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
That's right.
And that eventually, I think, became the premise for the sitcom Alice in the 70s.
Are you serious?
I think so. I think I read that somewhere.
Wow.
But it's called Alice, and I think it was based on that. But I don't know anything about the movie.
I read the synopsis of it on Wikipedia.
Okay.
And it didn't sound like something that I would want to see.
No.
And then I just sort of said, I'm not going to even put this in my notes. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well, too bad.
Which I'm not telling you. You can't talk about it.
Too bad.
But I guess if Alice on the TV show went across country with her, she did have a young daughter.
Yeah. she did.
But I don't know. I never heard that. But.
Yeah, but I mean, that still kind of doesn't answer the question, why are these lines in here? I don't know why he put them in this song, other than it's a mother and a child talking, but they have nothing to do with this song.
Well, the plot of the movie must.
I guess so, yeah.
Like an overprotective
mother. Since this isn't a movie podcast, we're not going to get into that.
No, let's not get into that. So this is, having said all this stuff about it being whiny and I still love this song. It's upbeat. It's fantastic. It sounds great. And it's a highlight of the second side.
Yeah.
This is very much like a kitchen sink kind of track, though, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
It has so many different sounds in it.
Oh, yeah.
So many different keyboard parts.
Yeah.
But they blend really, really well. And it's never distracting. You never say, like, it's too much.
No,
It's all pretty tastefully done.
I like the fact that we get a lot of little keyboardy, very, synthetic sounds, but we also get some electric piano, which I guess is still synthetic, but not quite as much. And then we get some kind of organ type sounds in there too, so a little more organic. But the bass line in here is super complex, but I really think it gives a good funky foundation to the song.
Yeah, the bass is cool.
Yeah.
And there's also speaking of bass, it's not the bass, but there is like a keyboard sound in the verses that comes in, and it's sort of like a bass sound. It's real fat sounding.
Okay. Yeah.
All week long, it's been bugging me because it reminds me of a sound from another song that I love, and I just can't think of what it is.
Okay.
I was hoping by now I would remember it, but I never really did. But especially like in the first verses, when I really noticed this, they're sort of like a brief kind of metallic kind of sound. What's the term for like in music when like a sound rings out but only briefly?
Oh, like staccato?
Sound it's kind of metallic and clanging, and it could be a guitar maybe.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, but it's in the background of the verses. It sounds really cool, and then this big fat whale sounding keyboard rolls in to do like the end of lines and stuff. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of big sounds, there's also some really good big drums in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like the big drums.
And every time like there's something really cool with the drums, I don't want to skip to the video yet, but every time something cool happens with the drums, the video gets terrible. I like the way they edit it. Like,
yeah.
The image will come one step closer to you with each drum beat or something.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about the music before we get onto the video. I like the middle eight in this. The keyboards are awesome. They're kind of like fluttery, traveling up and down. That.
And are you talking about the part that you think that you know more than me?
Yeah.
And there's also the keyboards are like that, but there's also like in the background behind those keyboards that you're talking about, there is like a synthetic voice, just kind of like.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're right.
But it's not a human voice.
No.
I love the sound of that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it fills in very nicely. Yeah.
And then the middle eight kind of has there's like a middle eight. You think that you know more than me.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to look, mama, look, mama, look. And then it goes back to another kind of separate melody line that's not a verse or a chorus.
Yeah.
It's like it's actually pretty complex.
Yeah.
Or the vocals of the look, mama, look, mama, look.
Yeah.
That's super addictive.
Oh, I know.
If you hear the song, you'll walk around and you'll just realize you're singing that.
Yeah. I really like that contrast of the high vocals that he has. I mean, because he's got some really high vocals. He starts off with really high vocals, and then later on we also hear this, look, mama. Yeah, it's a really nice contrast. It's really well done.
Right. Oh, the other line from the middle eight is actually a part that, now that I remember it, it's a part I have a little problem with lyrically.
Oh, really?
When he says, I got to make my own mistakes. Why can't you treat me like a friend?
Oh, yeah.
Then it goes back to the regular song. But everybody involved in the song, parent and kid, is going to call shenanigans on that line.
Oh, yeah.
Because no parent is going to treat their kid like a friend. Even if their kid is 40 years old, they're still going to want to look out for them and take care of them.
Yeah.
And no kid wants their parent as a friend when you're 16 years old.
That's true.
So that line doesn't work for either party of the song.
That's probably true. I mean, I know that there are parents out there that try to be friends to their kids, and then that usually doesn't work because they need to be parents instead. Right. But I think, if he's trying to sound like a teenager or some young person, a young person, only old people say young person.
Yeah.
I think he's got it wrong, because no kid, like you said, is going to say, please treat me like your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Not until you're his age, like what he is, when he's actually writing the song, then he would want to be a friend. So good call on the shenanigans there.
I'm waving my cane at him as I call shenanigans.
You silly young whippersnapper.
You want to talk about the video?
Oh my, I guess we should.
All right, well, this video is not quite as polished as Things Can Only Get Better, which came right before it.
Yeah.
And it hasn't aged nearly as well as that one.
Oh my gosh, no.
Although I will say it must have been very cold when they filmed this video.
Oh, I know. Yeah. You can see his breath.
Yeah, the whole way through?
Yeah. But he's, well, I was going to say he's happy about it, but no, he's not. This is just a bizarre video.
Yeah, it's pretty strange.
It really, I don't know who came up with it, but I think the guy that directed this only ever directed one video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this is it.
Well, maybe he moved on to feature films then on the success of this video.
Quite sure, yes. Mm-hmm.
So the bulk of this clip involves like a pair of teenage boys that break into an amusement park
right.
after hours because they are just wanting to have fun and they're teens and that's what they do.
Sure.
So there's this really weird funhouse face. That's
there's two of them. There's a woman and a man.
And these faces seem to have like magical powers and they sort of turn on the lights for the guys as they walk and power up the rides.
Yeah.
And then the most amazing thing is they seem to create a pair of young girls for them to spend time with.
The woman's face like moves, makes a kind of a expression, and then suddenly two girls materialize out of thin air.
A flash of light.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah, so then they goof off together for a while, riding on bumper cars and things like that and stuff. But then the red face is on the screen again and the girls disappear.
Yeah. It's like the guy was like, no, we're not having any more of this.
So then...
But then...
It appears that the boys' mothers are there at the park.
Are they the mothers?
I think so. Because they're older women.
Okay.
But they're sitting together and they're sort of laughing.
Yeah, I was like, who are these? Wait, are these the same girls that just disappeared?
Not the same girls. They're older ladies. And then the two boys and their moms just run off.
Walk off into the sunrise, so to speak, because it's getting lighter as they leave. Yeah, it's really strange.
It's strange, and the story, such as it is, doesn't hold together.
No.
At the end, it doesn't make any sense.
No, the way it ends, it's just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. And then, can we talk about Howard?
Yeah, let's definitely talk about Howard.
In this video, because...
I have good things and bad things to say about Howard in this video.
Well, yeah, I don't have it. I honestly, mine's going to lean more towards the bad because to me, in this video, he looks downright creepy sometimes.
He's totally creepy looking in a lot of this.
Yeah, he's like, the first time you see him, he's just like so stone-faced. And
his eyeballs are strange, like what he does with his eyes.
Yeah.
He looks real creepy.
Yeah, he does. And I don't understand why he's looking like that. He looks so serious and even sinister sometimes. He just kind of looks like he's up to something and no good. And sometimes his movements are kind of like robotic or herky-jerky. It's I don't get it. I don't know why the director told him to look like that.
Don't know.
It's really disturbing.
Now, the good stuff about Howard Jones in this video is the thing that makes it all palatable is that we get to see some great Howard Jones double-handed keyboard action.
Yes, that is exactly right.
He has the most amazing looking bank of keyboards.
Oh, I know.
Like, there's like 4 or 5 keyboards there, I think.
Yeah.
But he really only, see him playing. He can only play 2 at a time. But they're all mounted in this like gigantic black structure.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like
it's like the World Control console or something.
It looks like the front of like Michael Keaton's Batmobile.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of something that could have been in like Tron Legacy.
For
like
sure.
The villains would be like manipulating things from behind the scene.
No.
So that looks really cool. And as always, I love any time anyone plays 2 keyboards at once. I think it looks great.
Oh, yeah.
So there were some good shots of him and singing along while I was doing it.
Yeah, and that is also my favorite part of this video and of him being portrayed in this video.
Yeah.
I know we talk about Depeche Mode a lot, and I think I mentioned this to you as we were discussing this video as I went to watch it. It reminded me a little bit of Get the Balance Right by Depeche Mode, because that is also at a carnival. Mm-hmm. They ride around in bumper cars and both the videos, and they're both really odd videos. They kind of don't make any sense. Now that you've brought up the bank of keyboards and like manipulating things, I think that actually almost ties in with the other half of the Get the Balance Right video, where they're like in this lab and wearing lab coats and manipulating things.
Oh, right.
So,
right.
I mean, not that it really is the same, but maybe that director saw that video. He's like, I want to do something like this.
Maybe. Hey,
because it was just so good.
I think anyone who sees the video for Get the Balance Right would be inspired to go out and create art of their own.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Anyway, I had to bring that up because it's another one that you're like shaking your head when you watch.
All right. So now we're on to song number 2.
Yes.
On side 2 of the U.S. release.
Indeed.
Of Dream Into Action. And this is called Bounce Right. Oh, my thing just shut off. My screen just shut off. This is called Bounce Right Back.
Well, I was walking down the street with my old friend Lou. We were getting into a bit of a heavy scene. And he said yes, I say no. He said, what do you mean? I pulled my piece and
that's a great one. And growing up, that song, I always felt bad that I didn't have a friend Luke like Howard Jones did in this song.
Yeah?
So, which is why much later in life now, I do have a friend named Luke, and I appreciate him all the much more.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Yep.
I hope that you never actually recreate any of these scenes that he discusses in this song.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
Who knows, though, with Luke?
Well, that's
anything
true.
can happen.
That's true.
So this is another track I've always loved. It's very simple, really. It's just verses and chorus.
Okay, yeah.
There's nothing much more to it. But it has what you heard there in the clip. It has like a fun rap type vocal, a great rhythm section, and as par for the course on this album, it has some nice keyboards. At this point, it seems to me like Howard Jones can come up with a catchy chorus on demand.
I know.
Like
this chorus.
We're on song number 8.
Right.
There has not been, I know you didn't really like Dream Into Action, maybe it was. In my opinion, we haven't had a weak moment on this album yet. It's incredible.
Yeah, I love the chorus on this. I think it's really, really catchy. The melody is super catchy. It gets stuck in your head, and the music in the chorus is very good. I really like the keyboards.
Sure
in
is. Now, I know that some people online were saying that he was just kind of influenced by some of the early rap recordings like Sugar Hill Gang and Grandmaster Flash that made him want to incorporate some rap into his song, which I can buy. I'm not sure. I guess I don't understand how influential the Sugar Hill Gang was. I understand that it's an important single, but I think it came out in 79. So if 6 years later, I'm not sure it would still be something. I can understand Grandmaster Flash. I think his record, the one that everyone caught on to, I forget the name right now, but I think it was from 83. So that was a little more recent. But, obviously something did influence him.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I almost wonder if it was like alcohol or something, just because.
I don't think Howard Jones is a drinker.
Well, I don't know what it was, but these words, oh my gosh.
Oh.
All
right, so
what the heck?
This is another Howard Jones message song.
Well, it is,
and
yes.
The message is simply, watch what you say because you might regret it at some point.
Yes, but the way he goes about conveying that message.
He tells 3 stories to illustrate, to get that point across.
Yeah.
And the 3 stories are delightful. One's bizarre, one is just weird, and one, now that I actually know the real lyrics to it, is just unfortunate to me.
Okay, you must provide more details here.
All right, I love to put things in lists and explain things.
I know you do.
All right, so here, let's talk about the stories.
All right.
Verse number 1 is story number 1. Oh. All right, so Howard and Luke are walking down the street.
Yeah.
And a weird dude appears.
Yeah.
And he's only, he being the weird dude, is only 4'5".
Yeah.
But he has a certain nonchalance
and a joie de vivre.
Right, a joy of life.
Who says those words in a rap? This is my problem right off the bat with this song. He's rapping and he's saying nonchalance, a joie de vivre. Come on, really?
I have no problem with that.
It's just weird.
So this guy really enjoys life. And he looks at them and he grins and he tells them, hey, watch what you say.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the first story.
They're just like minding their own business, and all of a sudden this, oh my gosh.
It's great advice, though, and you've got to learn it early in life, I guess.
I suppose that's true.
So verse number 2 is story number 2.
Yes.
Now, several years have passed. Howard is now a working man.
He's a working man. Oh, yes.
And he's at a party at his old friend, and I'm assuming it's Luke's house.
Most likely.
So Howard is talking to a girl when a small group of outsiders bursts in and intrudes on the party.
I like how you portrayed this.
Howard is about to give them a piece of his mind when the weird dude appears again and says, remember what I told you. Watch what you say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the guys who crashed the party are colorfully described.
Yes, they are.
As a gorilla and a brace of henchmen.
He says a brace of henchmen? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I knew he said
Shuffled
gorilla.
Around my old friend's house, a party on my mind. I'm chatting with a chick, a gorilla muscled in, a brace of henchmen.
Yeah, that's
behind.
right. That's right. Oh. Again, who says brace of henchmen in a rap? Come on, Howard.
Those
come
are
on.
Incredible lyrics.
Oh, incredible.
It paints like the craziest image in your mind of like what these people look like. I'm picturing like these people that are dressed like Che Guevara, like crashing through the door. Like Howard's wearing his 80s vest and his big hair is stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
All right, so then finally the third verse. All right, this is the one that I evidently never really understood when I was a kid.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I'm not kidding.
Okay.
There was just a few words that I did not get right, but it changed the whole meaning of the verse.
I would bet so.
So finally, Howard and Luke are again walking down the street when an argument compels them each to draw guns on each other and stare each other down.
Yes.
Luckily, their friend arrives again to settle them down.
Yeah.
So in this last verse, after they draw their pieces, they stare each other right in the eye. However, in the age of cassette, and up until this very week, I have always sung, "We stabbed each other right in the eye." So I thought that their pieces were like switchblades. And so I was always like, why would this guy show up and just lecture them instead of like getting them to the hospital? They both have knives sticking out of their eyeballs. But now I understand it better.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying laughing right now as you're describing this scene to me.
It makes far more sense because even as a 14-year-old in 1985, I wasn't quite sure why the song completely fell apart at the end with them stabbing each other in the face.
I'm having a lot of trouble keeping it together here because that is just too funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, even if you change it back to guns, I think this image is ridiculous because Howard Jones, with his enormous hair and his shiny orange suit, suddenly pulling a gun out. It is just such a comical image to me. And besides that, he's such a friendly, positive person. The idea of him getting into an argument so heated that he would feel the need to draw a weapon, that's just like pretty much impossible concept for me to imagine. I'm sorry, Hojo. You don't have the street cred to pull this off. You just don't.
Well, maybe it's just, remember, he's just a narrator, so maybe the song isn't about him. I'll give him that.
I guess not. But there's no way that he would ever pull a gun on someone. There's just no way. It's just, that's what I have a problem about. This song is so far-fetched. I mean, I know but it's so weird.
I think that the craziness and the weirdness of it kind of distracts you. You never really pick up on what a simple song it is. There isn't really much to it because you're so focused on like the crazy images and stuff.
He's distracting you with his words.
I love his vocals on the part that I just played when they're having the argument. And he sings he raps the part. He said yes. I said no. The way he's so over the top.
Yeah, he really is.
It's delightful.
And, his delivery in this song is crazy. He just gets all over the place. He's the part about the gorilla, the way he says that in that second verse, it's like very
that's a really good rap part.
It is. Actually, that is very good. He's well delivered, except for the actual fact that he's saying brace of henchmen.
Right.
But yeah.
I like how the big argument that draws them makes them have a big fight. It's so like insipid. Like the lyrical version of the argument is just yes, no.
What do you mean? Yeah, that's pretty small for to have to draw a gun on someone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So based on what we've been told on Facebook and stuff, and I think someone messaged us through Facebook about Howard Jones. We talked a little bit about it. This evidently was a bonus track on the UK release.
Okay. Yeah.
Because somebody had mentioned how much they enjoyed the bonus tracks.
Okay. Yeah. So, it definitely feels more like a B-side to me or something. It just has this novelty feel. But it's fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a B-side. I recognize the fact that it probably couldn't have been a single, but I've never thought of it as an inferior song.
It's a good song. It's put together very well, as everything on this album is. It's just very, I guess the words just get to me so much. It's just so ridiculous. It makes me laugh though. So that's a good thing.
Well, let's put a stop to your laughing.
Oh, yes.
You want to move on to song 3?
We should.
All right. Song number 3 is going to bring all laughter to a halt.
Indeed.
This is called Elegy.
Please don't look at me this way. I am from the same seed as you. Take me back to the womb. I am weary.
Oh, that's so pretty. I looked up the definition of the word elegy when I was researching, and one of the definitions I found was a sad or mournful musical composition. And yeah, this is about as sad or mournful as anything else we've heard on this album. And when you start listening to the words, you definitely get the sense that this song is more depressing. Take me back to the womb. I am weary of this life. What the heck?
Sorry.
This is not the Howard Jones we know and love.
Okay, that's the thing I'm having some trouble with. I was reading a review of this album track by track, and they said that this song is in contrast to anything else on the album, as are the dark lyrics that speak of suffering and wishing for death. But you can't just take it at that. You can't simply because the song talks about I'm weary of this life and stuff. You're right. There's sentiment in here that's depressing, but it's not a depressing song. It's to say that about the song is like if you would criticize the book A Christmas Carol because Scrooge is so miserly and miserable a person. You're ignoring the fact that the end of the book he changes.
Well,
because in the chorus of this song,
yep. I actually have a note about this.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I shouldn't have interrupted you.
Well, that's okay.
But I thought you were repeating what this reviewer said that had me fired up.
No.
All right. Then I'll let you go back.
Okay, because the very next paragraph in my notes. That's okay. The very next paragraph, then we get to the chorus. But all this talk is only poetry, only as true as we would believe. We must live to fight the negative, not to court the self in defeat. Aha. Mm-hmm. There is good old optimistic Hojo.
That's Howard Jones, right?
Yes, right. He's kind of tricking us, really.
And for a reviewer to somehow miss the chorus of the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that he's not. He says it's in contrast, as are the dark lyrics that speak of suffering. Yes, that's true.
It is.
The dark lyrics do speak of suffering, but he never goes on to say the sentiment changes and it's not really in opposition.
Yeah, well, then
which I found to be totally annoying for some reason. It got me all fired up.
Okay, well, I don't agree with him. I agree with you that even though this starts off as a very mournful and sad sounding song, and it still has this melancholy feel to it.
Sure.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is. But yeah, the chorus is obviously very optimistic. It's like, we must live to fight the negative. That's exactly, a positive message.
Yeah, I love that part. Mm-hmm. And that is total Hojo right there.
Oh, I know.
Find another record by someone whose album has 3 top 40 hits and also contains a song like this. I'm sure there's a few, if any.
No.
This is such a beautiful song.
It really, really is. It's so simple, but it doesn't need a lot to be a beautiful song.
Yeah. It basically has just those keyboards that they sort of sound like very brief bells.
Yeah.
And then it's like a cello
yeah,
or
they're
oboes
really.
or
I
something.
think there's a real cello in this. I think I remember seeing in the liner notes there is a cellist on here, so it is real cello, and then there's some kind of ethereal chords going on in the background. Just gives us a nice atmospheric feel.
Yeah, the cellos and the keyboard voices he chose blend together wonderfully.
Oh yeah, and his vocals are just so good in this.
Such a good job.
Oh
on this
my
one.
gosh, it's so. Oh, they're just so full of emotion. You can just tell when he's singing those depressing lyrics that he sounds a little more subdued and almost even anguished at times. I think and then when he's singing the O's, the really high parts, that's just beautiful. He does a great job of hitting those high notes.
Yeah, he really does. The one part of the song that I really, really like is the last 2 lines. Like to this day, if I think about it, sit there and concentrate on it or really dwell on it, it'll still give me chills if I think about it too much. The 2 last lines, take us forward through the tomb. There is no finish to a life. And I imagine that this idea stems for him from his Buddhist beliefs.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure in what way I believe it or if I believe it, but I love the sentiment and it really touches me. Like the image of I'm picturing someone being brought into a tomb by mourners, and the mourners stop. Yet he continues moving forward and just leaves. Like they're left behind mourning, and he has moved on to like another, a new life or something new. It's such a nice thought. It
really is, and the thought that goes with it, the music, the very very last chord of the song is a major chord, and so it ends on a hopeful note, literally.
That's cool.
It really does. You hear that last part and it switches and it's like, oh, there it is. It's just beautiful. I just can't say enough good things about this song, even though you thought I was saying bad things in the beginning. No, but it is a bit of a surprise, because you're like, oh, where's Optimistic Hojo? Oh, there he is, right in the chorus.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is just a gorgeous song.
And he's stated numerous times that he has hoped that his music can make an impact on people who might need a positive outlook or something. And I'm sure that this one at some point in time has registered with someone who
needed that.
Who needed it.
Yeah. I would like to think so, because why wouldn't it? It's just it's got that part that kind of just draws you in and gives you a nice reaction.
Yep, great song. So we're up to song number 4.
We are,
and this is one called "Is There a Difference?" At this point, we're 10 songs into the album, and to this very day, I still love the first 9 tracks we've discussed. I think this record holds up incredibly well, and it's still holding up well even with this 10th song, but I have to say that this is the first song on the album that doesn't impress me as much as what has come before it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think this is a bad song. Just like you said before, you thought Bounce Right Back sounded like a B-side to me. This one sounds like a B-side to me. And I read a review of it that was extremely positive, saying that it oozes pop sensibilities, quote, so pop-sounding that the attentive listener can hear traces of Hall & Oates' Kiss on My List and Huey Lewis's Do You Believe in Love in it.
Oh, interesting. But if I think about it just for a moment, I think I can see where they're coming from with that.
Oh, yeah?
I do. Yep, knowing both those songs. And I think I can hear what he's hearing in my head. Yeah. I actually struggled or debated over whether this song could have been a single or not. I think it probably could have been a single. I mean, after all, they did release Look Mama. And I would say that this song is about on par musically with that.
I disagree completely.
Do you really? Well, that's interesting. Let's talk more about the music in it. I think that the beginning is really interesting. The initial note sequence is very unusual. I looked up the sheet music, and there's like a whole bunch of flats in it. It's not super melodic, but then just after a couple iterations of that, we get the verse, and it's got a very simple but a very catchy melody. I think the melody is very catchy. The song is very easy to sing along to, or at least hum along to. And there's a lot of good keyboard sounds in this song. It's hard to describe them, but there's ones that sound like xylophones that sound like 2 notes being played at once, as if you had 2 mallets on a xylophone. And I think they're pretty much throughout that whole song.
There are a lot of keyboard sounds, but there are a lot of keyboard sounds that to me sound cheesy in this one.
Oh, really?
I haven't had that complaint with anything yet so far. Okay. This is the first time I've thought that.
Huh. That's interesting. I think there's some good, more of those squeaky type keyboards that come in at different parts of the song. And I think the bass is definitely from a keyboard and not guitar, and it has a slightly fuzzy sound to it. Do you hear that when I mean that?
I'm not sure if I remember.
Okay.
To me, growing up, this was always kind of an inferior version of Like to Get to Know You Well. And I always thought that, but at this point, I'm not sure where I was coming from when I listened to it now.
Yeah.
I don't really think I hear that. I had some problems when we were talking about Like to Get to Know You Well. I got frustrated on here because I said I don't understand why everybody's talking about its Caribbean atmosphere or its Caribbean flavor. And I've since realized that since that episode, I was just completely focused on reggae. Like I wasn't hearing any reggae music in it, obviously, but I forgot about calypso, like that kind of thing. So, so listening to that podcast, right now I said to myself, hey, dimwit.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about reggae.
No.
This one, I'm not sure why I thought that this was sort of like a Like to Get to Know You Well, because this isn't a calypso flavor song.
No, but I feel like it has a kind of a tropical feel to it. I actually have those notes. Yeah, I do. And I think it's because of that kind of xylophone type keyboard. And I think the tempo as well. I think the way that it presented with the drums and stuff, I think that kind of lends itself more to that tropical feel. Because I got that same sense. I don't think you're wrong.
Oh, really?
I don't think you're out of your mind on that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think the song is nice enough lyrically, talking about the differences between people. So it's basically just a catalog of different types of folks and different qualities that people possess.
Well, yeah, it seems really random because it's just a whole bunch of lists and things. But did you look up what this is all about?
I couldn't find it.
Okay. Well, if you go to Howard Jones's website and you check out the lyrics section, you'll find that there is a note at the beginning of these lyrics based on chapter 20 of the Tao Te Ching, which was written around 500 BC by Lao Tzu. Tao Te Ching translated means the way of life. So, yeah, he writes this airy little pop ditty, and it's basing the lyrics on an ancient Chinese philosophy. I mean, who else does that? That's Howard Jones, like, to a T. Yeah. No one else would do that. I looked up the translation for this chapter from this book, and yeah, there's a lot of similarities to what he says. I mean, think the first lines. I can't open it up here at the same time as my other document, but the first line was something like, is there a difference between yes and no? It was very, very similar to that. The first verse of his song is very much like the first stanza of this poem.
I didn't know any of that, so I've always come to this song without that guidance. And I just have thought it was lyrically cooler than it is musically, because I like the fact that all the verses list differences and different types of people, and the first part of the bridge into the chorus is all still like, hey, we're different this way. And then the bridge ends with this seeming, it's like nonsensical almost. Yeah. And we go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And that's... Yeah. Everything else in the song is, this is like this, and this is like this, and this is different than this. But then everybody comes together in that line and sings, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. But the thing that I really like, so that's the one time in the song everyone is together. But the thing I really liked, the best part of the song, in my opinion, is the end, not because it's over, but because I just like the part at the end when he's, is there a difference? Is there really a difference? Yeah. That's a catchy little line.
Oh, yeah.
And every time he sings it, it's answered. The question, is there a difference? Is there really a difference? Is answered by two options that are conflicting with each other. But the first one, the very first time he answers it is yes and no. You know, I didn't know it was based on that old time book, but I always thought that he chose yes and no as his initial answer because that was the answer. Is there a difference? Yes, but no.
Oh.
Everyone's different, but we're all the same.
I'm sure you could definitely take it that way and not be wrong, you know, even though it's, yes, there's a difference and no, there's not a difference. I mean, I think that's actually extremely clever, and maybe that's part of the philosophy as well. I don't know. We talked about his vocals here, answering himself. He does a lot of his own backing vocals in this song, and I really like the different things that he does to back himself up. That last chorus where he's singing other lines kind of behind the main lines, you know, where he's singing "Here I am" or "Drifting on the Sea." It's just so cool.
I have that too. Another part I enjoy is the background vocals in the final bridge that don't appear earlier in the song. I alone am drifting on the sea.
Yeah, and that's actually also lines that are very much like the Tao Te Ching.
Oh, okay. Well, they sound really cool. It's not much like the song. They're not earth-shattering, but they sound cool and they're pleasant.
Yeah.
All right, so we're closing in on the end here. We're up to song number 5 on side 2, the 11th song in the album, and this is called Automaton.
Wow, what a cool song.
This song is incredible.
Oh my gosh. Just from the first second, it's like super energetic and exciting and frenetic sounding, all those little computer noises. And then we get some interesting static coming in and a driving drum beat. And then at 30 seconds, we get that fantastically funky bass line. Yep. Oh my gosh, it's so great.
Sometimes I forget how awesome it is simply because it's the 11th song on the album.
Yeah.
And, you know, most groups are going to front load their record with the hits and the great songs. And then you're left with whatever. The final quarter of the album is it's fine.
Yeah.
But nothing could be further from the truth with this record. If you're someone like me who loves listening to like synth sounds and obviously fake drum machines, this is an embarrassingly rich banquet for us.
I feel that this is another song. He's got one song on each side where he is just having so much fun experimenting and playing around with different keyboard and synthesizer sounds. I think on the first song that was
True Man's Action.
There we go. Yeah. And on this side it's Automaton, because it's just chock full of sounds.
Mm-hmm. Even more so than Look Mama. When I listened to Look Mama critically for this, I was impressed by how much there was in it, how many sounds. This has even more than that.
Oh, yeah.
But once again, he keeps it tasteful and it doesn't get out of hand.
No.
He makes sure it's not too much.
And I think it fits with the whole theme of the song. I think you want to have a lot going on and a lot of mechanical and computer type sounds in here.
Yeah, because this song is wild. Before we move on to what it means, I just want to say, if you're not familiar with the song and you are a fan of either Vince Clarke or Depeche Mode or Kraftwerk, I think you should give it a listen, not because it sounds like those groups, because it doesn't, but the atmosphere that he develops through the technology, I think is going to appeal to you if you're into that sound. Check it out.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good comparison. It's a comparison, but not a comparison, because it's in a league of its own. It's in a whole different world, but not.
Lyrically, this is another high point of the album. The lyrics are incredible, and I love them for different. I love the lyrics for Elegy, which we just talked about, but I love these obviously for different reasons. This isn't dealing with issues like that, like suicide and reincarnations. This is just a story of a really cool robot.
Yeah. Robots, yay. Yeah, it's such a different topic even for Howard Jones. I mean, it's like it's not like philosophical. It's not trying to drive home some message that I can tell.
No, but there is like an aspect later that is Howard Jones tinged, which we'll talk about. But but you're right, it's not. It doesn't seem like a Howard Jones song, and I can't think of like on any of his following albums over the decades, I can't think of any song that's even similar to this.
No, No, I think this is probably the most fun song that he has ever done as far as the topic of the song and the words to it and how it's presented. I think it's very much more lighthearted in its entire nature. You know, we talk about Bounce Right Back, and that is a fun song. It's crazy. But the lyrics in it have a meaning. And then in this song, I don't know that they have quite as much of a meaning.
Well, let's see. Let's talk about what the song is about.
Okay.
Because I really like this story.
Okay, good.
So an artificial being appears.
Yes.
He has no past, has no future,
No.
whatever that means.
No.
I understand he has no past. I understand what that could mean.
But how would we already know he has no future?
Yeah. So the cool thing about this artificial being, the automaton, is that he knows people's dreams.
Yeah.
And he can replace their tears with laughter, meaning he makes their lives better.
I guess so. He makes them happy.
Mm-hmm. But people don't know exactly why he does this or from where his power comes from.
Right.
So the narrator, who we'll call Howard Jones, even though I don't at all, like in the other song, in Bounce Right Back, we were talking about, well, Howard, you don't have street cred. You don't have street cred to do this. It's because we were picturing Howard Jones in that song. I never picture Howard Jones in this song.
No.
I picture some sort of like Blade Runner looking private investigator. But
it's some kind of like a spy type guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because people have these questions, the narrator investigates. So he goes to the automaton's place.
Yes.
And finds him dead.
Basically breaks into his home, goes up to his bedroom and spies on him.
Yep. And death has changed the automaton, though, because he lies on the floor with reptile skin. And the lyrics in these verses are great. If you don't know the song, check it out.
Yeah.
Since I'm just summarizing here, it doesn't sound quite as awesome because you're not getting the effect of the song, but it's really cool. Then suddenly a sound by the door catches Howard's attention, the narrator's attention, and fear grips his mind.
Oh, no.
As in the door stands a being. And we're told this new figure is benevolent.
Not cold.
Not cold. And then the interlude ends with the words, automaton. He is controlled. So Howard, the investigator, has gotten the answers at least to a few of the questions. The automaton was under the control of someone. And luckily for us, the controlling entity is benevolent.
Yeah, and a good thing for the narrator, too, since he broke into the thing's house.
It's kind of mind-blowing that we're having this discussion talking within the confines of a pop music podcast.
Yeah.
This track is great. In like 4 minutes and 5 seconds, he creates a little miniature science fiction movie in your brain.
Yeah, you're right. And I would love to see a video for this. Yeah. I really, really would. I would love to see that.
I'd like to see a video for it made now. I'm sure if it was made in the 80s.
Oh, it would be like super cheesy.
It would have been kind of cheesy.
Good. Yeah.
I'd love to see it now. I totally picture like the sets that we got in the movie Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That's what I picture him running through, like that kind of dark and wet with the neon signs and things like that.
It's always at night, of course.
Yeah, always at night. He has like a long coat, the automaton.
Yeah.
It looks sort of sinister, even though he's doing good things.
Yeah, kind of like Howard Jones in the Look Mama video.
Yeah. Another thing that I like to see that video. I would like to see him comment on the creation of this song. Even though there's this podcast called Soda Jerker on songwriting, which is a really good podcast about music, but it's not really like about specific albums or about the music. Its focus is
on songwriting.
And these guys have done 100 episodes. I forget their two names, but if you want to hear it, if you're interested, it's called Soda Jerker on songwriting. They've had 100 episodes where they've talked to 100 different songwriters, and they've gotten big name songwriters even from the get-go. I don't know who the hosts are, but they have connections to get some great guests.
Lucky them.
They've had even like Paul Simon.
Wow. Was
on their show. But on a recent episode, they talked about a songwriter who was being kind of crotchety when they were dealing with them, and they asked him a question about the song, and the guy said, not every song has a story with it. Sometimes I just write a song.
Oh.
So that's the one thing I would be afraid. Like if we had a chance to talk to Howard Jones about this song, I would say, oh, what was the story? What made you do this? And what? I would be afraid that he would say, it's just a science fiction story. I don't know. I just made a story.
Felt like writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That would not seem to be par for the course for him, though. I feel like he always has something to say.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe this time it is just a fun song and he thought it would be cool to do. I don't know.
I think it's more cool than fun.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I say fun, but I say just fun just because of the music in it is fun.
Oh, yeah, the music is very fun.
Yeah, the topic and the delivery of it is very cool.
Yeah.
You know, his spoken word part in here, so much different from the rap. So much different.
Yep.
And it's like I like how he delivers that spoken word part. It's very suspenseful sounding. Mm-hmm. It just puts you more in mind of a movie. I think he really does a great job of kind of conveying this visual picture with the music and the words.
This is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Do I think it would have been a good single? I don't think it would have been a good single. But would The Same Deep Waters as You by The Cure have been a good single?
Well,
I don't think so. Sometimes great songs aren't great singles.
That's true.
But that doesn't take away from how incredible the songs are as pieces of music.
That's right.
I've been intentionally putting some of these Howard Jones songs into some stellar company. Last time I compared Assault and Battery to Depeche Mode, Human League, and The Cure.
Yeah.
And right there I broke out the Cure card again.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that on purpose, and I stand behind it. This is some incredible music, which I think is sometimes overlooked by people simply because it achieved chart success.
Oh, okay.
But I think that this record is actually...
It's poppy.
It's an important, and it should be, if you're a fan of 80s New Wave, it should be a mandatory album for you to be familiar with, I think.
I think you're showing your hand for the end of the video, for the
you
final
think
review.
I'm telegraphing my 5-star review that I'm going to give it?
Just perhaps.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I may surprise everyone.
We're almost there, as a matter of fact.
We are, which is good because we're almost up to an hour.
Okay.
All right, so you want to move on to the last song on this side?
I think we should.
All right. Moving on to the final song of the album, and it's called Hunger for the Flesh.
The river gently beckons, but the answer is no. Gripping their illusions, they cannot let them go. Hunger for the flesh leads them to a weaker heart. Mortals who imprison themselves, let them ever new start. Let them ever new start.
So the album winds up ending with what some call Howard's treatise on the Buddhist Four Noble Truths.
Oh, really?
Which is this song, Hunger for the Flesh.
Wow.
There are 4 noble truths to a Buddhist.
Okay.
The first truth is the truth of suffering, which is also called dukkha, I think.
Okay.
And the first truth, the truth of suffering, is that life is suffering. But luckily, the word dukkha, it refers to anything that is temporary or compounded by other things, compounded of other things.
Okay.
So a lot of people would just tune out at this point when they see life is suffering, but if you think about it more,
it's temporary.
It's temporary or compounded, stems from other things. The second truth is the truth is of the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering is thirst, craving, or hunger for things outside of ourselves to make us happy. This hunger grows from ignorance of the self.
Oh.
The third truth is the truth of the end of suffering. You can put an end to hunger through diligent practice. Ending the chase of satisfaction is enlightenment, and through enlightenment you reach nirvana.
Wow.
And the final noble truth is the truth of the path that frees us from suffering. The cure for this illness, that which will allow us to end our hunger, is to follow the Eightfold Path.
Oh.
So the 4 noble truths lead you to the Eightfold Path.
Okay.
Which, if you follow them as a Buddhist, you cure yourself of the hunger for these worldly things that people get obsessed with. And by leaving them behind, you achieve happiness.
Wow.
And so I think you can see that a lot in these lyrics. Spare a thought for the souls who cannot leave this earth. The attachments bind so tightly, not a chance of a new birth.
Yeah.
The river gently beckons, but the answer is no. Gripping their illusions, they cannot let them go.
Indeed.
And one more. Hunger for the flesh leads them to a weaker heart. Mortals who imprison themselves, let them have a new start.
Wow. That is some heavy stuff.
Getting really heavy, here with the last song.
Yeah. When you first see the title of this song, having earlier gone through Assault and Battery, you may think, oh no, it's another depressing song about eating animals. But as it turns out, it's not about eating animals. I wouldn't say it's not depressing, but at the very least, it's not optimistic, because it does seem to focus more on the suffering part of this.
But I guess if you know these truths, it is optimistic in that there is a way to escape all this.
Sure, but he doesn't go into that in this song, does he? Not that I know of.
Not that I remember.
Yeah. So, boy, this is like the complete opposite of the song we just heard in terms of composition and content. It's so much slower.
There's no robots in it.
No, there's no robots. No robots. It's slower. It's much more sparse. And the topic is much more serious. It's a very interesting contrast between the last 2 songs on the album.
I like the intro to this one
as
well. It kind of brings us full circle back to track 1. It's a nice little keyboard introduction that gives no indication of what sort of song is about to follow.
No, right.
A different sort of song follows, and things can only get better. But when I hear this now, there's that keyboard part, and then there's very breathy vocals.
Yes, very ethereal, kind of breathy chords.
And when I hear it now, it puts me in mind of the introduction to a song by a group called Babel, which was the Thompson Twins without Joe Leeway.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a song called You Kill Me, which I love. That song starts with these same sort of vocals playing over top of the music. The Babel song is years later. I'm sure they didn't have this in mind, just to like, I'm sure no one else in the world makes this comparison. But I just really like that song. And as soon as I heard this, that's what I thought about.
Well, I had a strange connection in my head to a part of this song in the very beginning. And you might have heard a little bit this morning when I was preparing. At about 20 seconds, there's that low string kind of sounding keyboard.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of, I think, Mr. Bad Guy by Freddie Mercury, which was also released in 1985. And there's some, that's got a very orchestral sound to it. And there's some very ominous sounding low strings in there. And I think that's what I was thinking of when I heard these ominous sounding strings. Now, of course, when I heard this back in the day, I didn't think of that because I didn't know Mr. Bad Guy back then. But when I hear it now, I'm kind of like, whoa, that sounds... And it is very off-putting, those low minor sounds in this song, because you don't know what you're getting. And first you're like, da-da-da, and then you're... It's very, very jarring.
Yeah. Yeah, the song is only 4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's very short, but it feels much longer. Not in a bad way, but just because you go on like a little journey with it.
Yeah, you do.
It evolves musically.
It really does.
And there's some very atmospheric effects, and you go through sections that all have different sounds to them.
Yeah.
But it's cool because that little keyboard riff that we hear in the introduction appears throughout and kind of ties all the different things together and keeps it coherent.
Yes.
It's, again, this is not the stuff of a top 40 single, but I respect and I kind of dig what he's doing here. It's neat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's just a great build-up throughout this whole song. We get to the second iteration of The River Gently Beckons, which is about 2:30. It just, the intensity starts to build. There's more of a drum beat going on, but it's a dirge-like drum beat. It's like super slow.
Yeah.
But then the keyboards start to surge, and Howard's vocals kind of get more tense and anxious, I feel. And then at 3:22, he really lets loose, only figuratively though, because his vocals are saying holding back the change. But he says that with such emotion. And that with that last burst of energy, the song just kind of fades out with this ominous low keyboard strings bringing the album to a close. It's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the point in there. There's a point where just like a flood washes it.
Yeah.
There's just a sound that rolls in and washes over everything.
Yep.
It's really cool and really does establish an atmosphere.
Yeah.
Something that makes me laugh, even though the song's very serious.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh that he says, they came here for to dance.
I didn't realize he said that.
Yep.
Oh, boy. English is not your first language.
I'm not sure I respect the way that he reaches his syllable requirement for that line. But it makes me laugh simply because we say that sometimes.
For to dance, yeah.
Not for to dance, but we'll say
for
that.
To something.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dance, that's like on my list of things like when David Bowie says on the dance floor. I hate that. So, yeah, for to dance is not much better.
Yeah. Just a note, with all these message songs that we've mentioned on the record, I have to say I never really think of this record now after 12 songs, many of them being, him lecturing us. I never really feel that it's overly preachy.
No.
I think that speaks to the quality and the variety of the music.
Yeah.
If this had been performed by a singer who just had an acoustic guitar and who just kind of strummed that,
it would be kind of heavy-handed, I think. It would come across very, very differently.
Yeah, but he pulls it off without asking me or without having me ask him to quit lecturing me.
Yeah.
So I think that, like you just said, I think this is a very good album closer. It's musically intelligent, has something to say, and it's something that most are going to be closed off to, but it's still an interesting message.
Yeah, and he's always good at, giving it a shot as far as getting his message across to people. All
right, so let's get into our final evaluation for the record. We're at 1 hour and 7 minutes.
Okay.
So let's get right into it.
All right.
I'm going to go first simply because you're usually a little bit more well-spoken than me with these final things, so I always like to...
Oh, I don't know about that.
I always like to have me get out of the way and then let you say what you're going to say.
Well, okay.
All right, so my final rating of this record, I was reading some reviews online of, I think we mentioned last time that we saw Howard Jones a few years ago on a tour where he did this album and Humans Lib in its entirety.
Right.
I was just, for the heck of it, I was reading reviews from those concerts by people who were there at the concerts. And I was amazed. Every single one of the reviews mentioned, oh, he's starting with Dream Into Action first. Well, that'll be hard to get through because that record has so much filler on it. And then somebody else said, yeah, I know what you're saying. There's easily 6 tracks on that album that are complete filler.
What?
I was like, what are you babbling about? There's 12 tracks on this album. 10 of them are amazing. Amazing songs. Is there a difference? Is fine. and Hunger for the Flesh is good, which is good is better than fine. And then the other 10 are excellent, exceptional, awesome, fantastic. There's so many different styles on this record, which I think makes it interesting. You have things like Dream Into Action and Automaton, which are cold and calculated and artificial. And you have things like To Get to Know You Well and Things Can Only Get Better, which, using the same technology, he establishes a completely different sound.
You're right.
And I think it's cool that at the time of this, when he was starting out, this is his second album, so keyboards weren't quite as new, but he was starting out. Public opinion on keyboards was very strange. We mentioned in the first episode that he was under fire from the musicians union because he was putting real, and can you hear my quote? Finger quotes, real musicians out of work by doing so much stuff with keyboards. And at the time, I think keyboards were regarded by the music public mostly probably as strange things that either Kraftwerk used and made strange music, or there are things that progressive rock bands like ELP and Yes would use to play solos and things like that. Howard Jones comes in and uses the same technology to make warm, appealing pop music with this strange technology. And it appeals to a casual listener, and it appealed to people who respected what he was able to accomplish with it. Because people who didn't know anything about keyboards said, this is great music. People who knew things about keyboards said, this is great music. I love what he's doing. This is great music, and it's not like anything I'd heard with it. This is a fantastic album for all of those reasons. If you're going to tell me there's filler on this record, I guess you can go on and talk, but I'm not going to listen to you because you don't know what you're talking about. And this song, or this record, easily earns 5 record adapters out of 5.
Wow.
This is a 5 out of 5 record adapter album.
All right. Well, I'm not surprised to hear you say that, given all the great things you've said so far.
I hope I don't get a reputation of giving 5-star reviews out too easily.
I don't think you do.
But this one really deserves it.
Yeah.
And right now we're talking about awesome albums. Like,
I know.
A decade from now, when the only record we have left to review is like
Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Liverpool.
Yeah, I'll give something lower than that.
Yeah.
But right now we have so many awesome things to talk about.
Yeah, I know. There's so much good stuff out there. And so I'll start mine.
Let's do it.
Howard Jones is an excellent example of someone who puts the music first and the method second. His classical upbringing is so apparent when you hear acoustic versions of his songs, because in that context, it becomes abundantly clear that he knows how to craft a song. To some people, the use of keyboards and synthesizers may mask that underlying talent, and sometimes that is definitely what was going on back in the day and still today. And I think a lot of people would write Hojo off as a gimmicky product of the 80s. You know, they don't necessarily hear the quality. Yeah. But it's a shame because he really is very talented.
Oh, yeah.
This album is so supremely 80s to me. It is just, it's smack in the middle of the decade, and it perfectly reflects the sound of the synth pop music movement. But unlike other synth pop acts who were popular at the same time, Howard produced music with substance in both the composition and the content. He was not interested in singing about the typical topics of pop songs, but he was still able to produce accessible music with a message that he wanted to convey. And that's a pretty big thing. Mm-hmm. I think the album's production is just top notch. I think it has a very consistent feel to it. Rupert Hine does a great job of blending all these different layers, bringing out certain sounds at certain times to create a very full and varied soundscape that grabs and retains your interest. I feel that it's a very well put together package. Now, that's, again, with the US track listing for the cassette and the album version. I just personally think this is an excellent track lineup for the album. I like the placement of the songs.
Me too.
I think we get quite a change of pace at the end of each side, and I think that's kind of neat. I just feel that this is a very cohesive work, and I think the song choices flow together very nicely. So, how do I rate this album?
Here we go. Because you're a little more stingy than I am.
And I think I say this almost every time, but this was tough. This was really, really tough. I had to think back to my other ratings and how I would compare this album to ones I've rated so far. And my biggest struggle in rating this album was putting it up against Depeche Mode, Music for the Masses, and Pet Shop Boys, Actually. Mm-hmm. I've given them both 4.5 record adapters. And as you know, at this point, I still have not given a 5-star rating or 5 record adapter rating.
True.
As you may also know, I tend to be more objective when I consider my ratings. And if I'm being perfectly honest, believe it or not, I would probably be more likely to listen to Music for the Masses or Actually, or maybe even Hunting High and Low before I would listen to Dream Into Action. But I think Dream Into Action, by just a teeny tiny bit, beats out Music for the Masses and Actually as being a better complete body of work. And I feel the need to make that distinction between this album and those two. So I'm kind of surprised and even a little nervous to be saying this, but I think I have to give this album, Dream Into Action, my first ever 5 record adapter rating.
Yes.
It's just a really solid, cohesive, well put together album of excellent music with some really unique messages presented in a very accessible and enjoyable fashion.
I love it.
And there you have it. Bet you didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming.
Well, it was quite the struggle, but I feel that is my honest opinion.
Well, I think you make a lot of sense.
Well, of course you do. Mm-hmm. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for that nice evaluation there.
Well, you're very welcome.
I enjoyed talking about this record with you.
Oh, this has been a delight.
It has been a lot of fun. It was great to get back and listen to this one and learn stuff about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were both educating each other on this one, and hopefully the people that listen too.
That's right. We hope that was the case. So we want to thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our look at Howard Jones's Dream Into Action. And I guess I don't have much more to say.
Well, we got more good stuff coming. I don't know what it will be exactly just yet, but I know more good stuff is on the way.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I know what's on the way.
Well, let's leave them in suspense.
All right, we'll leave them in suspense.
Keep them hanging.
But we will say this, that we are just kind of loafing around for the next couple days, enjoying the nice weather. We're going to hang out at the pool a little bit, and we have some time in our hands. So look for us in the middle of the week for a little bonus segment. We have something we want to tell you about.
Okay.
So we're going to do just a brief podcast that's not our usual format, but I think you're going to think it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
So
summer fun.
Yeah, summer fun. So we'll check in with you in just a few days. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will talk to everybody soon.
Take care now.
Quite